The surveillance video is simply chilling. A suspected gunman walks into Young's Asian Massage, the first stop on his deadly rampage. Later, the chaotic aftermath, police rushing to the door, others watching in disbelief. Lost in the carnage, 8 lives, an Army veteran, a newlywed, a business owner. Delana Yan was out for a spa day with her husband. They were in separate rooms when he heard the gunshots.
What do you want people to know about your sister?
Everything was family to her. She always wanted people to keep positive, keep moving forward.
And still fighting for his life, Alcius Hernandez Ortiz. He called his wife as soon as he was hit.
The only thing he said, "I've been shot, please come." She says that she could barely understand him anymore because his voice was starting to fade away.
Today in Atlanta, President Biden and Vice President Harris spent their first official trip together, meeting with members of the Asian American community.
They've been attacked, blamed, scapegoated, and harassed. It's been a year of living in fear for their lives.
On Capitol Hill, a somber silence, and across the country, outrage.
What do we want? Justice!
Tonight, the suspect's lawyer says in a statement he advised his client to waive his first court appearance, adding, "Our firm will conduct a thorough investigation on his behalf." Now, all eyes on officials as they work to determine the motive and whether to officially label it a hate crime. Blaine Alexander, NBC News, Atlanta.
Shooting in Boulder, Colorado. At this hour, we know at least 10 people were killed this afternoon, including a Boulder police officer. Right now, one suspect is in custody after opening fire at a grocery store.
At 14:30 hours, the Boulder Police Department began receiving phone calls of shots fired in the area and a phone call about a possible person with a patrol rifle. Officer Talley responded to the scene, was the first on the scene, and he was fatally shot.
The Boulder Police Department says the fallen officer, as you heard there, is 51-year-old Eric Talley.
They say he was an outstanding officer and had been with the department since 2010. It's expected the investigation at the crime scene will take about 5 days to complete, and police say they'll work around the clock to identify the other victims. Fox's Hunter Davis shows us how this all unfolded.
A chaotic scene as dozens of law enforcement officials, including a SWAT team, responded to reports of an active shooter at a grocery store in Boulder, Colorado, Monday afternoon.
There was loss of life. We have multiple people who were killed in this incident. And I am sorry to have to report that one of them was a Boulder police officer.
The suspect reportedly firing several shots.
All of a sudden we heard in succession, boom, 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 and by the third one, we're like, gotta get out of here.
Witnesses say a man wearing tactical gear carrying an AR-15 style weapon with dark hair and a beard opened fire outside of King Soopers, prompting customers and employees inside the grocery store to take cover as the gunshots continued.
There is no ongoing public threat. That we do have a person of interest in custody.
At one point, cameras captured police escorting a shirtless, shoeless man in handcuffs with a bloody leg across the parking lot. His involvement is not clear at this point. Authorities escorted the man to an ambulance, which left the scene for a nearby hospital minutes later. And witnesses say he was not the only person to sustain injuries.
I saw some victims on the ground as I came around the corner, so I knew what was happening.
Police say the investigation remains active, with the ATF joining the effort. Hunter Davis, Fox News.
We'll begin with the Capitol police officer killed just a few hours ago. I'm David Ushery. Natalie is off tonight. This is the second line of duty death this year for Capitol Police, as the department still struggles to heal from the January 6th insurrection. That officer died after a man rammed his car into 2 officers at a barricade outside the Capitol. Police say the driver then hopped out of the car and lunged at the officers with a knife before being shot. Our chief investigative reporter, Jonathan Deans, has been working this story throughout the afternoon. He's in the newsroom with the latest. Jonathan?
Yeah, for now, law enforcement believes the suspect is a lone actor Multiple law enforcement officials point us to a Facebook page of 20-year-old Noah Green. They say Green from Norfolk, Virginia, drove his car at Capitol Police and then waved a knife before being shot and killed by police. Evans was a college football player, and his Facebook page suggests he was a follower of the Nation of Islam. Records show he even traveled to Indiana recently to try to change his name. This afternoon, there was a procession for the Capitol Hill police officer who died. A second officer was badly wounded. William Billy Evans served for 18 years on the Capitol Hill police force. Officials not saying exactly how he died. The suspect rammed the officers and then a barricade around 1 p.m. Green, the suspect, emerged from the car and ran at the officers with a knife. Those officers opened fire. Both officers were rushed to area hospitals with injuries. Then the news, one had died.
2 U.S. Capitol Police officers were transported to 2 different hospitals, and it is with a very, very heavy heart that I announce one of our officers has succumbed to his injuries.
Again, Green from the Norfolk, Virginia area, killed by gunfire. Lone actor, the leading theory. The car that was used registered to him. Police are looking into his past movements, his background, to try to learn more about why he decided to attack the Capitol this afternoon. David?